Alright, so you're about to witness one of the most disgusting videos in Dark Souls history.
Right, so basically this is a level 40 PvP build that one of our friends made, and then we subsequently built on a few months ago. And essentially you've got Giant Dad, but because of how low a level this is, you can invade an Londo consistently and just destroy everyone.
Yeah, there is nothing that competes with this build at level 40. It is optimised as far as possibly. It's optimised as far as you can really take it.
Yeah.
The barbed straight swords are remarkable weapons. It's got such low requirements, and it's a short sword, so it's got the same moveset as a straight sword, and it also inflicts bleed.
The bleed. Now people might think that the barbed straight sword bleed effect isn't really that useful, but what it does is it forces your opponent to play defensively.
Yeah.
Because you build up that bleed bar, and then they're going to take like another couple of hits to bleed. They have to be defensive, and then you can just pile in after that.
So yeah, what we're also doing here as well is we'll get our blood shield sitting there
to give us all the resistances we need.
That gives us resistances against bleed. It gives us poison and toxic resistance in case anyone's using the club. So we've got the dark hand on the offhand in case we're versing a sorcerer, because it's got 80 block on everything, so that's our elements sorted. Pyromancy flame because it's actually probably our main
damage output.
Yeah.
Really. We've got a nice selection of 4 pyromancies that we'll come to, and then we've got the full set of Giant's armor, which is self-explanatory. Poise, defense, everything you need.
Yeah, we've got Habos and Ring of Favour, of course, just so that you can wear the armor and you've still got your mid roll.
Yeah.
And our PvP items are restricted quite simply to Green Blossom, Poison Knives, and Lloyd's Talismans.
We don't need anything else.
Don't need anything else at all, because this build doesn't heal.
Now, as you can see, this is we've got a good amount of HP. The stamina's low. We've only got 14 endurance.
Yeah, it's minimum endurance, but you can get 6 swings of the barbed straight sword in there, which is enough to break their guard, and you can still get a little bit of bleed build up in there.
And a good amount of damage.
And pyromancy doesn't cost endurance, so after you break their shields, you can quickly combustion them.
It also has 38 vitality, which gives it that much vitality, and then it has absolute base requirements for
everything else.
Barbed straight sword, and it has 19 attunement. It also, we started off as the Pyromancer class. Everything in this build, aside from Black Flame, but could swap that with Great Combustion, can be got before Londo. So this is a build that you can make before you get to Londo, and you will just
it's a build you can make before Ornstein and Smo. You have to go to Londo for Giant set, but
yeah,
it is a build you can get before Ornstein and Smo. You'll see as we're switching through these screens here, it should switch over to our inventory screen where it will show us our pyromancies. They're really good. Yeah, there's our pyromancies there. We've got Black Flame, which we do swap out for combustion.
Yeah.
We've got Fire Surge, which is great. No one knows how to deal with Fire Surge. It's just when you get point blank and you start spamming that, people can't deal with hyper aggression in this game, so they just roll round you or they try to get round for the backstab, and they can't do it because Fire Surge slowly burns them away.
Fire Surge is also amazing if your opponent is low on health and you just need to get them hitting that one last hit, and you know how sometimes you'll I need to hit them once and they keep dodging, they backstab and you kill, you just Fire Surge, bang, they're gone. You've got Fire Tempest, which is great for dealing with large groups of enemies.
Quickest casting of Firestorm there is available. It does pretty decent damage, and it's quicker than the Chaos Storm by quite a significant amount.
If you use it wisely, then you're guaranteed to get hit. And then we've got the ever faithful Great Chaos Fireball. Huge fan of this. And although it's not necessarily meant for dealing out damage, it's great for putting pressure on your opponent.
There is a few people that we do get with because the Chaos Fireball leaves the residue. We do manage to kill like 2 or 3 people with it. So these are all consecutive games, more or less.
Yeah, and a point to make is all these videos that you see were all shot in a row. We didn't die once.
That was 22 victories or something like that last night in a row. We said, right, we'll stop when we die, but this is why we love Tempest. Look, GG.
So this is again the smart way of using Tempest in this build. Just try and hide and then just pop out and get them like that, and then you just run in.
And our trusty Chaos plus 5 barbed sword.
There was nothing they could have done.
Yeah. So you see that this is 22 victories in a row, and that's probably the best use of Fire Tempest throughout the entire montage that was sort of made here. It is really good. Oh god. Yeah, I let Tony pick the transitions, and quite clearly I think he's decided to fuck over everyone who's watching, so I apologise.
Yeah, I went a bit mental with the transitions.
No, you didn't go mental with the transitions, you just picked the ones that are
anyway,
shit.
I thought I was being smart here, and he runs out and then Fire Tempest.
Yeah, that's the one thing I don't like about the Firestorms, is that they don't land in the same spot all the time. They're unreliable for range. Another good tip for Firestorm is if you're on a slope, make sure you cast it higher than your opponent, because when the higher you are, the further down your Firestorm will cast as well, which is fantastic. So you can cover a much wider area.
This guy was quite a decent player from the looks of it, but obviously not decent enough. But
yeah, because Bob Straightsword just gets in, cuts them up, and the Blood Shield just does enough.
Now, you might think that the low amount of endurance is a huge setback, but it really isn't. Still being able to get those 6 swings out really makes a difference. At the same time, you're confined to a mid-roll, but it is literally the lowest amount of endurance you can have, while still maintaining a full set of Giant's armour, which allows you to then invest all your other stats into health.
Full set of Giants and the current weapons that we have. I wonder if there's a weapon that's better than the Barbed Straightsword, but that was awful. Awful.
The Barbed Straightsword
Editing will be done by me, and when it comes to montages from now on, that was just ridiculous.
So this guy decides to sort of jump out and surprise us, but really, I mean, this
is where Fire Sword this is where it shows how good it is.
Nah, at one point in this, but I mean, really, we just end up toying with him for a while. He's killed Vamus.
He doesn't know how to react, and I mean, yeah. So there is really nothing they can do.
Here we can see casting higher than your opponent caused it to...
Yeah, we were only a couple of steps up, and that more or less increased the range that this would hit at, like, probably about maybe 50%.
Using Great Chaos Fireball is a great way of being able to get to hit your opponent. If your opponent's run towards you, or you run towards your opponent, you just run up and you cast Great Chaos Fireball just directly point blank. You'll definitely hit them that way. So we just sped this bit up a while because he runs away and shits himself.
Yeah, like where you're trying to Lloyd's Talisman him again so he doesn't...
Yeah, heal again. But Lloyd's Talisman doesn't have amazing range, so...
Yeah, Lloyd's Talisman's a PvP item. It's also useful in PvE as well because it puts mimics to sleep.
Yep. But Lloyd's Talismans are an incredibly underused commodity in PvP. You can get them off Marvellous Chester or the Male Undead Merchant. Yeah.
And they stop your opponent using Estus in case you didn't know what their purpose was. Your opponent cannot use the Estus flask, so it's helpful for invading if you're invading. But if you're the invadee, then Lloyd's Talisman are thereby useless because they can't use their Estus anyway.
Yeah. But another point for this video is that we didn't heal in any of the games. Well, actually, we healed in 2. One we fell. In fact.
Yeah, like this is the only time that we'd heal as if like we were on the way down to someone. Yeah.
There was another. Oh, actually, there's two times when they healed before us, and we weren't having any of that, so we just went bang straight back.
Yeah,
up to
like when both players get down to like they're both in that one hit to kill range, you shouldn't really heal. You should just see what happens. It's more exciting because then players get a little bit. They'll either get really aggressive and just go balls to the wall, or they'll play really careful, and I like seeing how people adapt their playstyle at that point, but this is just proof of how good Fire Surge is.
Yeah, I mean she didn't stand a chance.
No, like it was really good. Plus Seeker's Fire Surge hits automatic constantly. Oh, for fuck's sake. Because of how often Fire just take a fireball to the chest anyway.
Yeah, but I was like this, he's like, he hits it with a shitty fireball, like, fire, you want fire, do you?
But yeah, Fire Surge did really great because it looked like there, I mean, the damage jumped from 400 to 700, so it looks like maybe because it hits constantly, when that guy was going for an attack with the katana, the Fire Surge might have gotten an attack of opportunity and gave us a little bit more of a damage buff. It's the only reason I can think of it jumping from 4 to 700 instantly. So
this guy invaded us numerous times, and
every time we fucked him,
just completely destroyed him.
Yeah, like you see a lot of this.
I mean, we misplay a lot by just spamming Fire Tempest and things like that.
You misplay a lot. I didn't play any of these because I didn't get a chance to.
Yeah, whatever. Well, I mean, let's be fair. I won 22 games in a row, and who else can say that?
I didn't want to break your lucky streak. I'm fairly sure the cunt that made Giant Dad can say that.
Yeah, okay, I'll give you that.
But yeah, Giant Dad, look it up if you haven't already. There's a video by a YouTuber called Only Afro. The video is called He's Back.
Yeah.
Oh, you're gonna love it. But yeah, this is this the... What's this guy's name again? Is this Earthbound?
Yeah, Earthbound.
Right, this guy, yeah. This was last night we recorded this, and I still remember the guy's gamer tag. That's how often we fought him.
So yeah, I mean, you can see that you can, because of the amount of poise that you have, you can, like, they might hit you, but you can just you can get in so many hits.
And there's Fire Surge with a lucky final hit.
Yeah, I love using Fire Surge for that, and so many people don't use Fire Surge, and I highly recommend that you do.
Yeah, it is really good. Like, not a lot of people use Fire Whip either. Fire Whip's more situational, but it does put up a wall between you and your opponent.
Only Chaos Fire Whip is really the useful in that sense.
And that costs 2 to use it, but Fire Whip in PvE is brilliant.
Oh, definitely.
Fire Whip in
so
PvE is much better than Great Combustion. Chaos Fire Whip is insanely good, but it does take up 2 slots, unfortunately. So, but anyways, is this Earthbound again?
This is Earthbound again, yes.
Oh yeah, he invaded us. Yeah, this is actually, we went down to the bonfire to replenish our spells, and then went to invade again. And what do you know? What Earthbound invades us again as soon as we rest at the bonfire. So
No, I just edited this, so all the times when we fought Earthbound were just in a row.
Right.
Yeah.
I thought we were going to leave it in like the order that we fought in. Oh well.
I'm pretty sure at this point I use I just use Great Combustion to kill him. Done.
Yeah, GG.
So I mean, you can see a fully upgraded Pyromancy glove is a force to be reckoned with. Definitely. This is Earthbound again. During this video, we just stayed down here at the bottom, and he was up at the top, and we just waited till he came down.
Yeah, and
then
then
we thought we could jump out and get him from behind, but it didn't really work.
Well, at least we managed to block him into the bonfire room.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be one to try and chance my invincibility frames through a full Tempest.
No, it's true. But I mean, I think he must have got sick of invading us, because you can see how defensive he is, and he just knows what's going to happen to him.
Yeah, sure, at this point it would have been better switching to a spear and just like keeping his guard up and hitting us while we're hitting him and getting the much better damage output. But
the only times that you're really going to fail using this build are when you come against other people that have got much higher level equipment, and even if you're going one-on-one with someone that's like that, you're still totally fine. But sometimes you'll get someone that's, you know, just got 2 summons and they're both quite advanced equipment wise, and
combustion again. And
if you're getting ganked by like 3 people, normally this build will actually do well against 2 or 3 people.
What was happening here is that we noticed that they've not taken on the boss, and that the front door was open, so we thought we'd hide right next to the giants and then run in and surprise Tempest them, but they split paths, and we had to, of course, you know, fuck this guy up a little bit, because he was the host.
If only those concentrated 3 fire pillars actually got him.
Yeah.
So this is actually one of the fights where we heal.
Yeah, he cannot avoid the residue of Chaos Fireball there, because it was backed into a corner and they were landing in front of him and spreading underneath him. He couldn't avoid that, it was taking damage. Chaos Fireball is one of the best pyromancies in this game.
So this guy was actually quite a good player, and he did almost kill us, although it got to the point where we were both almost dead, and I was like, right, okay, well, one hit's going to decide this, but then he goes and heals, so I'm just like, well, if you're healing, I'm fucking healing, and then smash his face in.
His Fire Surge just rails him.
So, I mean, nearly dead there. That was a really close call, and then
he heals to full.
And I'm like, well, you know, there's only one way I can win this, so goodbye.
And almost died. Almost died. I mean, you must be sitting on like maybe 5 HP at best right now.
Probably something like that, yeah.
But we just end up sprinting away and then obviously popping humanities.
So he actually like let us do this almost.
Yeah, he was playing like, he should have kept the aggression up when he noticed that we had low health as well.
Yeah, if he'd done that, he'd probably have won.
No, he would have won. There's no problem about it. Like, if you get invaded and you both get down to the last hit and you're able to heal and they're still on last hit, just keep up the aggression. Even if you don't get a heal to full, if you manage to get 1 Estus in and they're still on last hit, keep up your aggression. Like, you might you'll win if you do that. It's the most.
So this was a Dark Moonblade that kept invading us, and initially I thought that he was going to be a really great player because he had the Black Knight halberd, and I was like, oh,
he's wearing Havel's body, and he's wearing the Mask of the Child, and
crazy
he's got the Grass Crest shield on his back, I think it is, and he's got crimson waistcloth on and shit like that, so he's got decent armour. And then this happens. 2 combustions happens. He's got about 600 health. It's just a shame.
I know, I felt bad.
I mean, he could have invaded after taking some damage, but he had 600 health regardless of that.
I know. So then he invades us again.
And he gets fucked again, because this build's broken.
So I mean, really, at this point, my confidence is soaring, and I'm just like, well, if I hit them with Tempest, I hit them with Tempest.
We'll beat the same person. We'll beat 2 people that constantly invade us every time they've invaded us.
Yeah. So this guy was trying to bait us up to the
giants, yeah.
But
yeah, don't fall for that. So whenever it comes to fighting a guy here, make sure you've always got the steps to your back, because they'll try and bait you up. Look at this shit. We generally go about halfway up and then just start backing off again, because it's just, yeah, we're not falling for it. Please tell me you actually don't fall for it.
no, obviously. Just try to launch poison throw knives at him.
Yeah, like, poison throw knives are great as well, because they force your opponent to do something about it.
Yeah.
Like, they force them to move, they force them to, like, roll or try and block it. Obviously, they've got the Spider Shield, they've got nothing to worry about, but no one uses that in PvP. I wonder why no one uses the Spider Shield.
Yeah, just the better options. Blood Shield, really. It's much better.
Yeah, the Spider Shield blocks all of it. Blood Shield just gives you higher resistances to all of it.
Oh, really? So that was the other guy who came round, and we just played this sort of stupid game of hide and seek, but then I'm like, fuck this, I'm gonna kill you. So I just start...
Oh, it's the same guy.
Yep. And I just start throwing my fireballs.
Yeah. Nice GG. Because the guy has no health. Just like Xbox has no games. Oh, this is where he winds up. He starts rapping.
So he's like, I was like, oh, he's gonna try and force me off the edge there. I was like, pretty sneaky. So then I'm like, well, I'm just gonna get you back. Can force knock back magic? Just normal force?
Knocks backs. I don't think it knocks back fireballs, so they just explode on impact.
I was thinking if it can knock back a crystal soul spear.
Yeah, they can knock back all sorcery.
Oh, nice.
You can use them to knock back dark beads and all that shit. It doesn't knock them directly back, it just knocks them off in a direction, yeah. I mean, there probably is a point where you can force a dark bead back at the person that cast it, but I don't know if it'd do any damage.
So, I felt really bad for hitting this guy, because clearly he just wasn't... He's pretty new to the game. The heater shield, although I really like the heater shield, it's not a PvP friendly weapon, and
it's not even really that good for PvE either when you compare it to shields like the Black Knight shield or the Balder shield or anything like that.
Yeah.
Like, the Balder shield is by far the best PvE shield in the game.
Oh, it's so good. Just please invest in the Balder shield.
It's between the Balder shield and the Black Knight shield. The Balder shield because it's got the high stability, and the Black Knight shield because it's got insanely good fire resistance, and it's a twinkling titanite weapon.
So that guy like fell off the edge and killed himself.
But yeah, we done the damage that led to his death, so we count that as a victory on our part as well. That was awful. What the fuck was that one called?
That was Heads or Tails.
Oh, this guy again. So we end up invading him for a change. And decide we're going to fuck up his game for the amount of times.
Is that the guy?
I think it is.
Oh!
He's got Black Knight Halberd, Grass Crash. No, it might be with Stone Armor and then switching. That might be the guy.
It might be the guy, it might not.
But yeah, we decided to fuck up his game and we made him attack Solaire. So yeah, we ruined his game for him. Like, this bit is what you just see the Phantom stand up to fight. So yeah, that's when we decided that.
So then I thought that I'll just let Solaire kill him. So I kick him and then shut the door. It actually almost kills us as well, which I thought was funny.
Do you know what happened to me when I got invaded once? And it was really annoying. The guy invaded me at Londo and he ran round and he closed the shortcut door. So I had to go round the long way, but it was fine because I knew the staircase shortcut. So I just cut him off and firestormed him.
So I took a humanity because I thought that was a bit of a dick move, but he healed as well. So
yeah, you thought him healing was a dick move and him hitting you through a door was a dick move, but you just lost Solaire for him. It's right, he humanitied as well, so it's fine.
I think I've led him there, I'm not sure.
Yeah, you must have got some sort of bleed with all those fucking hits. Does it not even tell you who it was that you... it doesn't tell you who you killed. Oh, for fuck's sake. You're not allowed to touch transitions anymore.
So this was another guy that he was a dragon build and clearly looked quite equipped for the situation. And I was like, oh, he's going to give me a run for my money, and it just got to the point where...
No health build.
There is nobody that's going to be floating about level 40 that's going to be able to beat you if you're using this setup. It's just too robust. Yeah,
there is no one who is floating about between level 60 or under who's going to beat you.
Now, I mean, there is... The build does have its weaknesses.
I mean, maybe if you go up against a guy who's just pure sorcery and you can't get your timing right on all your rolls.
Yeah.
or some cunt hits you with a lucky pocket wrath and takes you out or something like that. I don't know, but most of the time you're going to be perfectly fine taking guys on. Even when you get to low health, you're still going to do more damage than they are.
If you can bait your opponent into running out of pyromancy and then taking advantage of the slow rolls. So again, I mean, that the person you saw earlier, the person that was doing the flips, the ninja flips, they stood somewhat of a chance. Just like a high damage weapon, essentially.
This is any build that uses the Dark Wood Green Ring in PvP instantly has a chance against everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, Firestorm just decided not to cast in front of us at all. I mean, he might have been out of range. And that's the guy with combustion out of the game.
Hit him so hard it disconnected.
Anyway, that's the end. So see you guys later.
Hope you enjoyed, and I hope gives you some inspiration for your own build or whatever. Copy it, do what the fuck you want. Thanks. Bye.